Don't celebrate it. This is the kind of thing that could embarrass someone. It could be traumatizing. Menstruation, as if it's something shameful, as if it's something that should be hidden, as if it's something that two women should talk about alone upstairs. Not going to do that in our family. We want the young woman to realize that there's no stigma attached. We're going to do it for all the boys in the house so that they grow up without that sort of patriarchal consciousness of, ew, a tampon! We're making what I like to call a blood red marble cheesecake squares. The first thing you're going to do, you're going to melt the white chocolate. The reason we're making it is to celebrate my stepdaughter's first menstruation. But bottom line is, girl gets her first period and we want to have a period moon party tonight. So we're putting it all together and we're going to make some basically white chocolate cheesecake squares with like bloody marble. Oh, by the way, you got to watch your white chocolate because you don't want the white chocolate to burn. So you want to be constantly stirring it, you know, so that it melts slowly. You know, I have it on a very, very low flame here. You can see how it's already melting. You're gonna take 2 whole squares of cream cheese. These are 2 normal size packages, each one 8 ounces. So you got a pound of cream cheese. Just to dump that into the bowl. You're gonna take granulated sugar. I got about 1/3 of a cup or 67 grams of granulated sugar. Just gonna sprinkle that over the top here. You're gonna take your electric hand mixer. You're just gonna sort of beat this until it's smooth. Every now and then you're probably going to have to take a spatula and just sort of work it off the edges here. Alright, so again I'm going to scrape down the sides here. Also would probably work better if you had a smaller bowl than I have. About a tablespoon of flour. You're going to add about a teaspoon of lemon juice. There we go, that's probably about a teaspoon. About a teaspoon of vanilla. No, you can see I don't really measure. You know, I'm good at baking bread, never been good at cakes because of this things that take real chemistry. You're gonna mix all that together. It's messy because we're using such a big bowl, but we're not gonna talk about how it's messy because like rule number 1 of Moon Day is there is no mess to clean up. It's just like, you're gonna add 2 eggs.
Is there a rule number 2?
Maybe. So you just keep stirring this until it's like nice and creamy and smooth. And then you want to take it off the heat because it'll separate. White chocolate will separate if it goes too long. So you just want to slide it over to a burner that's not on. You let it just sit there off the heat. And in the meantime, you want to get your cheese mixture ready. I'm just going to scrape this all back together. I'm going to scrape down the sides again. Pretty well combined. You don't want any lumps. I mean, that's the key thing. The lumps will be lumpy. Then you're going to take your white chocolate here, again, cool but not soft, so it's, you know, still not, it's not hot like it was. And I'm just going to pour this in here. It was 8 ounces of white chocolate squares that I just melted down.
Would you use the hand mixer again at this point, or no?
It's not really necessary. The hand mixer is just about trying to get it smooth, so now I'm just kind of getting it blended, you know, combined. So then you're going to take your mixture here, I'm going to take about half of it, spread it onto this crust. This is basically just Oreo cookie crust, simple Oreo cookie crust. You take about half a stick of butter, you take about 20 Oreos, you stick them into the blender or the food processor, you just like until they're all crumbs, right? And then you're done. Stick it in the oven. I let it cook for like 8 minutes or so, just enough to like crisp it. There's no shame in buying crust, but honestly, making a crust with Oreos or graham crackers is just about the easiest thing. You take crumbs, you take butter, you press. You don't even have to roll, you don't have to do anything. This is basically just cheesecake mixture with white chocolate. I mean, that's all this is. We're gonna take half of it. I'm gonna spread it in here. You know, I just need to make sure we've got it all spread. Get every last bit of yumminess here. So this is a cranberry jelly that I made earlier. You can do this with raspberries. The way I did it, I took whole cranberries. It's fall right now, so we had, you know, cranberries are everywhere on sale. style. I took a bag of cranberries, probably about 2 cups of brown sugar, some orange juice, just cooked it all up until it all turned, you know, probably an hour until it all just turned into a nice liquid. Then I ran it through a strainer to get rid of the peels, right? The peels, because the outside is what's really bitter in the cranberry. And so this just has the peels. I kind of wish I left the peels in if I knew I was doing it for this, because they could be like placenta pieces, you know what I mean?
I'm so sorry that you didn't leave the peels in. It was a real missed opportunity.
Well, I didn't know we were going to use it for this. You know, we've been eating it on peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, things like that. You know, who knew it was going to be in a blood moon cake? If you have a daughter, you might want to keep all these ingredients on hand at all times between 11 and 13. I'd recommend it. So you're going to put down a layer of your cranberry, raspberry, whatever it is. You know, what kind of berry you use doesn't matter. You could use jelly if you want. The key thing here is it's got to be blood red. And then you're going to put the rest of this topping on. I'm going to do this pretty carefully because I want to, you know, I want it to look really pretty on top. You'll see what I'm going to do here. I'm just going to spread that out. Again, use your white chocolate spatula. I know it looks horrible right now, but don't worry. Next thing we're going to do, so we're going to take more of our blood red cranberry sauce, just like a few dots on top.
Oh yeah, it's totally makes sense.
Well, we're going to undot it in a second, but yeah. I mean, we could leave it like this if you think spotting's right.
No, I think making it look pretty is the right way to go.
We're going to take these are just 2 wooden skewers. Now I'm going to go like this, back and forth, and sort of create a marble pattern. You know, you don't want to overdo it or you're just going to get pink. But it's kind of hard to stop. I think it looks really good right now. You know, it's going to bake up like cheesecake after that. So I'm just going to take my fingers here, scrape all this off. I'm afraid it'll burn on here. And I'm going to cut some of this out so it doesn't burn in the oven. Take the kitchen shears, just cut any extra here so it doesn't burn. And just throw this out. And then we're going to bake it. We're going to keep it in the oven. The oven's at 350.